Good morning and happy Tuesday. I hope you had a good night rest, everyone. So much to go over, but one of the things that I had a student talk to me about was, and I posted about this a little bit ago, was that her shoulders keep popping. So I did a tiny little bit of research, and the internet educated me about the gases that our bodies release, and when there's too much gases that our bodies release, they tend to go through our joints, and then that's when popping happens. So I think, if I understand correctly, this might have to do with the food we might be putting into our body. I haven't done enough research, so I apologize, Leilani. I will look more into it. If it is accurate to what I'm understanding, I believe that when there is food that has too much gas and it needs to be released, it tends to, and it has nowhere else to go, it will go to our joints, and then that's when popping happens. But I'll look more into it. It's been a wild week, I promise. They say to never promise, but I do, because this is what I do. Let me try this one more time. Live. No, it's not wanting to connect. I don't know why. Checking connection. It's not wanting to upload. So sorry for the delay. Okay. Well, it is already 10:09. Let's get started. I like having a pillow underneath me because it helps me stay in posture. And I like folding my legs here. I don't have any knee joint issues, so it works for me. My knees are just slightly lower than my hips. And I just want to invite us to close our eyes here in this moment of Sukhasana, most comfortable seated position. Taking a scan of our feet and how they feel. The sensation of them not holding any weight at this moment. Traveling up through the calves and the shins, through the knees, the thighs, the hamstrings, and now the hips, the whole pelvic area as you travel, scanning your body up through your low belly, stomach, and then coming up to the ribs, the organs that are being protected by our ribs, our chest, the clavicle, the shoulders, biceps, the triceps, the forearms, the hands. Going back up to the neck, back of the neck, the jaw. Are we clenching our jaw, or are we relaxed? The cheeks, the nose, the ears, the forehead, the temples, and lastly the crown of the head. Just seeing how you're arriving with me together, pressing your belly button back towards your spine. Inhale through your nose into your low belly. And then exhale the low belly back towards your spine. Inhale through your nose, into the belly, up the ribs. Exhale the ribs. Exhale the belly. We'll take it into our chest this time. So inhale through your nose, into your low belly, up the ribs, and chest. As you soften the shoulders, reach through the crown of your head behind you, tuck your chin just slightly to find a long neck. Exhale your chest, ribs, and belly. With each inhale, simply feeling as if your torso is coming off of your hips. And with each exhale, relaxing the jaw, the shoulders, the elbows. Gazing at that space in between your eyebrows, your eye chakra. Be here. When you're following exhale, go ahead and float your hands to your heart center as they meet, the palms meet one another. Bowing your chin to your chest in gratitude for this time, for this moment, and all the blessings around us. When you're following, inhale, rise your head back up. Release your palms back to your thighs, palms facing up for receiving or down for grounding. Taking a deep inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Take that again. You can side it out, or you could just release and exhale through your mouth. Take that one more time. When you're following, inhale, go ahead and just simply blink softly. Begin to open your eyes with a soft gaze. Beginning to look around you. When you're following, inhale, go ahead and rise your hands all the way up. And then exhale, pressing through your palms, stretching the arms. Press the walls away from you, bringing your palms down by the earth. Inhale your arms all the way around and up, hugging the universe. Exhale, pressing our worries down and away. Take that one more time. Inhale your arms all the way around and up. Exhale, pressing everything down, opening up the chest, opening up the clavicle, placing your hands just slightly behind you. Press your chest forward and up. Look up slightly. Exhale, bring it all forward, hugging the earth right in front of you. Give yourself a hug. Tucking your chin toward your arms. Feeling a slight stretch behind the neck. As you inhale, bring it all, open yourself to the universe, and then exhale, hug it all the way back in, bringing the opposite arm on top. Tucking your chin toward your chest, giving yourself a tight hug. Continuing your 3-part breathing. Inhale yourself all the way and up, bringing your chest forward. And then exhale, release your palms by your sides, extending the arms as the length that they go. On your following inhale, rise yourself, and then exhale, lean over to your right side, and then swoop the opposite arm over in front of you, and then point it across, bending at your bottom elbow. Continue to exhale. And on your inhale, go ahead and rotate the top shoulder open toward the sky, pointing your fingertips. Exhale, swoop it forward and around. Release it down at wherever your arm meets the earth. Plant your palm, bend at your elbow, swoop the opposite arm over, across, and over. Point at your fingertips. With an inhale, rotate your top shoulder open toward the sky. Bolting both of your hips into the earth, not allowing either to come up, well, the top one. And then exhale very gently, swoop it around and over back to your center, extending the legs and simply giving them a little bit of a shake. Planting your arms by your sides wherever you are. So if you're on the mat and if you have longer arms and they can reach, go ahead and do so. I'm on a big pillow, so I'm going to do it next to my hips right here, and I'm going to bring my arms just slightly in front of my ribs, and I'm going to come onto my heels, pointing my toes up toward the sky, and I'm simply going to stack my torso on top of my hips, and I'm going to lift, press up. I'm not coming off of the ground, I'm just coming to a very tall seated Tadasana. I'm going to go ahead and inhale, expand the belly, press the chest forward, my shoulders align, and then exhale, release the shoulders, the chest, the ribs, and the belly. Beautiful. Now from where you are, see if you can heel walk your feet about an inch or two away from your hips. Keeping your toes active, go ahead and inhale your arms all the way around and up. And then exhale, hinging forward at your hips, keeping your arms nice and straight. Lead with your heart, come forward and down. Once you've reached a point that you can't go anymore, you can place your hands by your sides into spider fingers. Walk yourself as far as you can down and forward. Tuck your chin just slightly. Find a long neck. And then inhale, slightly lift the torso, keeping a flat back. Exhale, come forward and down. And then go ahead and just come as far as you can, rounding your back slightly, finding a lengthening of the spine. And then go ahead and roll yourself all the way back to a seated position. Go ahead and open your legs into a butterfly pose. Soles of the feet meet one another, using your elbows to press your thighs and legs down, holding on to your feet. Simply bring your belly as if it's gonna come in this hole right here, and then press your chest forward, tilt your head back. With an exhale, go ahead and like ah. Take that one more time. And then go ahead and press your chest as far toward the earth as possible. Again, allowing your hips to stay bolted onto the ground. And then go ahead and tuck your chin toward your chest. And then simply roll yourself back up. Now, go ahead and grab attention to your left foot. And with your thumbs in the meaty part of it, like the knuckle area and the insides of your thumbs, just simply see if you can give your feet a little massage around the sole, the meaty part of it, the outside edges, the heel. Go ahead and press onto your heels like this. Give your heels, your foot, just a little bit of a massage. Go through each toe. Beautiful. And then we'll take it onto the other foot. So we want to start maybe at the center and then work our way up. Go to the meaty part. Go around the edges. And then go back to squeezing your heel all the way down. Come all the way back up. And then give every little toe, every little piggy, a little bit of a squeeze. Beautiful. With that, go ahead and remove the blanket from underneath your sit bones. And then keep your toes tucked under here. Make full connection of all 10 toes with the earth. And sink your hips toward your heels. So you're on a seated hero pose here. You can really feel the stretch on the soles of the feet. If you want a little bit of a deeper of a stretch, you can also lean back, planting your hands behind you for support, and then rolling your shoulders back. Lift your chest, inhale up, and then exhale, bring it down. And go ahead and plant your hands in front of you for a tabletop, wrists below the shoulders, and then see if you can adjust your knees to be below the hips, untucking your toes. Tops of the feet are on the mat. Bring your knees together, heels together here, and then rolling your arms in so that the eyeballs of the arms are facing one another. Go ahead and inhale, drop the belly, look up, and then exhale, curl your back, chin to chest, draw your belly button back towards your spine. Inhale, drop the belly, look up, and then go ahead and start to sink very slowly your hips towards your heels for a child's pose. As you rest your forehead onto the mat, extend your arms over above you as far as possible, spreading your fingers nice and wide. Inhale, roll up through a tabletop, bend your elbows, tuck them toward your ribs, come forward and down, lead with your heart, your buttocks comes up. Inhale up for cobra to our belly button, roll the shoulders back, lift the gaze, exhale, coming back to a child's pose. Inhale as you roll through a tabletop, curl your toes under, lift your knees off of the ground, and then go ahead and begin to press your shoulders back as your hips come up toward the sky, lengthening through the legs. Looking up at our hands, go ahead and inhale your right leg behind you, toes facing the earth, keeping your hips squared to the mat. Go ahead and press your shoulders a little bit further. Lift your leg a little bit higher if possible. And then exhale, release it down. Spreading your toes, sinking it into the mat. Extend the left leg behind you, looking up at your hands. Press your shoulders back. And then lift the leg a little bit higher, but keeping your hips squared to the mat. And then exhale, release it down. Go ahead and inhale with me to your belly, ribs, and chest. And then exhale, chest, ribs, and then belly. Take that again. Looking up at your hands, go ahead and step your left foot forward to the outer edge of the mat. Pigeon-toed slightly so that the outer edge of your foot is parallel to the outer edge of the mat. Keeping the back leg nice and extended here. Maybe coming onto the balls of your foot. Go ahead and inhale as you come up through a crescent pose. Rotate the back thigh in toward midline. Arms come up by your ears, and then look at your legs. See that your left knee is on top of your left ankle, and then open that leg just slightly so that you can peek over at your pinky toe. Tucking your belly button back toward your spine, lift the torso. Beautiful. And then exhale, bring your hands to your heart center as you rotate over to the left side. Keep kicking or pressing through the back of the knee of the extended leg. And then go ahead and open your arms out to a T. Tuck that belly back towards your spine. Go ahead and extend forward as far as you can go, extending onto the front leg. Release your hand inside of your foot. If you cannot reach, you can always hold on to your shin, but be careful from hyperextending the knee, so keep a micro bend. I can reach, so I'm going to go here, and I'm going to extend the opposite arm over above me. And then exhale, see if you can place that hand to your low back. Gaze at something that's not moving. Exhale, release the hands back down to the earth. Palms spread, fingertips spread, and then go ahead and press that leg back to meet the right. Release your knees onto the earth, hug your elbows. Release your knees and then go ahead and release them nice and wide. Sink your hips toward your heels with your toes curled under, and then extend your arms over above you. Rest your forehead onto the mat. Take a breath here. And you're following. Inhale, look up at your hands, and then go ahead and bring your hands to be together. Like a little V. And then bring your shoulders over your elbows. Walk your knees in a little bit. Now we're going to grab opposite elbows for length, and then open up your arms. Palms are straight. Curling your toes under. Lift your hips up and back for dolphin. Just like a downward dog, but on our forearms. Look down at your toes. Draw your belly button back toward your spine. See if you can press your chest toward your thighs. And then walk a little bit closer so that we begin to put our shoulders over our elbows. Walk a little bit closer. You might feel a little shaking, and then bend your knees. And then release them down. Look up at your hands. Take a breath. From where you are, press your palms, your fingertips into the earth. And then bring your shoulders over your elbows, lift the legs, extend them behind you. Now, for a little bit of a challenge, you can stay here holding the breath, or you can inhale your right leg up, and then exhale, release it down. Take the left leg up, and exhale, release it down. Open your knees, sink your hips toward your heels, come up. Beautiful, you guys. From here, you can use your hands to support you. Actually, everyone, bring your hands inside to support you. And then roll yourself onto the balls of your foot. If you need space, you can always widen the legs. Come on into a yogic squat. So the challenge here for some that can, and your body just does it, is that you will have your feet together and you're on the balls of your feet. For this pose, some people are able to bring a block behind them for support. Doesn't matter if your feet are together or separate, but here's the challenge for today's practice. You're on the balls of your feet. Your hips are resting onto your heels. Find something out in front of you that's not moving. And when, if available to you, you can keep your hands here for support. You can bring your hands to your heart center for balance. Take a couple of breaths here. Find your focus. You're going to start to feel it at the soles of your feet. Stacking your torso on top of your hips ever so gently. And then when you are ready, beginning to bring your thighs closer toward one another. On your following exhale, bring your hands by your side and begin to extend the legs, leaving the crown of your head facing the earth for an Uttanasana forward fold. When you're following inhale, go ahead and grab opposite elbows and interlace your hands. Really bringing some weight to the crown of the head, and then begin to slightly shift the weight down all four corners of your feet. Not on the balls, not on the heels, but down all four corners, distributing the weight of your body evenly. And then your following exhale, release, let it go. Plant your hands behind you, interlace your fingers. And then go ahead and open your shoulders back, reaching your hands, keep your palms together toward the earth, behind you and beneath you. If you want, you can tuck your chin toward your chest here for a moment, and then exhale, release it down, shake out some no's, shake out some yeses. Bring your hands to your hips, and then begin to gently roll yourself up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Keeping your chin tucked until all the way to standing, allowing the head to be the last thing that comes up. On your following inhale, just looking down at your feet, spread your toes. Lift your heels, lift the balls of your foot, each foot. Release the little piggies down. And then inhale your arms up, looking at that space in between your hands. Palms meet one another. Bring it down to your heart center. As you exhale, come forward about halfway. And then see if you can press. Well, engage your thighs, so bring your kneecaps up. And then engage the backs of your hamstrings. Draw your belly button back towards your spine halfway. Beautiful. And then exhale, continue coming forward and down. Go ahead and plant your hands onto the earth as you sink your hips back and behind you. Bring your hands by your ankles. Knees come together. Oh, there's some popping. And now bring your arms by your ears over above you. Lift your torso. Sink your hips back. Belly to spine. Just take a breath here. This is going to burn a little bit. Belly towards spine. Sink the hips. Arms by your ears. Point your fingertips. And then exhale forward and down. Oh my gosh, that was such a challenge. Take a deep breath, you guys. Just let it out. We're gonna take that one more time. Clearly we need it. So, sink your hips. Bring your knees over your ankles as best as you can. Hands by your ankles. Sink the hips. Bring your arms over above you now. By your ears, belly towards spine. Oh my gosh. Extend the legs, come to standing. It is like one of the hardest poses I've had to do all week. I think it's the way we're getting into it. So I know somebody else guides it this way. We have it the hardest way, which is, gonna build endurance. So their thing is, look down at your toes, bend your knees like you're gonna sit on a chair, bring your arms out. Knees toward one another, sink your hips, lift your torso. Okay, that's not so bad. And then go ahead and come up all the way up. Bring your hands to your low back, fingertips facing the earth, like this. Open your feet a little bit wider than hip width distance. Now here, go ahead and look out in front of you, something that's not moving. Draw your belly toward your spine, lift your torso and chest. Take a breath. And you're following, inhale, tilt your head back, look up. Keeping your hands on your low sacrum for support, begin to press your hips forward, but lift your chest up toward the sky and reach it back. You can stay right here, or you can go a little bit deeper, really pressing those hips forward. And go ahead and go over to your left side. Keep breathing. And then following the same trace backwards, come through center and then go over to the right side. Keep gazing at something that's not moving. Keep your hands for support where they are. And then trace it back to center. Go ahead and come up to your neutral standing Tadasana. Wrap your hands so that your fingertips are facing forward and tuck your belly back towards your spine. Begin to hinge at your hips as you come forward and down, leading with your heart a flat back. Shift your hips over to the left side as you're coming forward and down. Shift your hips over to the right side as you switch over. Continue to come down. Beautiful. And then release the crown of the head toward the earth as you come back to a neutral space. Put your hands down on the mat and begin to walk them forward. And then fix your feet so that they are at a top of a plank. Roll the elbows, the elbows or the arms inward toward midline. Belly towards spine. Press your shoulders away from the earth. Look ahead of you. And then inhale, lift your right leg behind you, point your toes. And then exhale, bend your knee, bring it to the back of your forearm. Extend it back. We'll take that same side 2 more times. Bend your knee, bring it forward. As you inhale, extend it back. Last time, exhale, bring it forward. And then extend it back. We're going to take the opposite side. So lift your leg behind you, point your toes, exhale, bring it to the back of your forearm. Extend it back as you inhale. Exhale, bend it, bring it up. Exhale, inhale. And last time, exhale. And then bring it back. Release your knees onto the earth. Sink your hips back to a child's pose. That was a really tough one, you guys. Don't feel bad if you couldn't do all of them. Now we're gonna look up at our hands and we're gonna come up through the tabletop and just go ahead and bring that left knee up to the outside of your left hand. Your back toes are curled under. See if you can lift your knee right where you are, and you can already feel the stretching down the front of the right hip. See if you can sit the knee just an inch further back than it was before. Top of your foot comes to the mat on the back foot. And then I think right here we're dumping our shoulders a little bit, not too much. See if you can rise up. Beautiful. This is like a weird pigeon pose that I really enjoy and I want to share it with y'all. Spread your fingers and palms wide. Curl your back toe under. And then lift the hips as you step that left leg back. Right knee comes forward to the outside of your hand. And then here, just look out in front of you while the knee is still off the ground. See if you can feel that stretch down the front side of the left hip, and then release it down about an inch or two behind you from where it was. Top of your foot comes on the mat, and then without dumping all the weight of our body, see if you can rise your torso a little bit higher. While there is a back bend happening right here on our low back, go ahead and draw that belly button back towards your spine. Back bend will happen naturally, but if we can engage that belly button back toward our spine, then we're not going to pull any muscles down there that we don't want to pull. So there's a lot of control in that sense right here. On your following inhale, plant your hands onto the mat, curl your back toes under, and then come with your hips up as you step that right leg back. Beautiful. And then go ahead and walk yourself about halfway to the mat, and then come up to standing, hands on your hips, and then go ahead and look at the long edge side of the mat. So here, our toes are facing the corner edges of your mat. We are going to bring the heels in. While we're grabbing onto our hips, we want to sink the hips down. And this is a really challenging pose for many. I want to open my knees so that I can at least see my big toes. So if I can't, maybe just bringing the toes slightly forward just to have some direction. So as you sink your hips down, you want to bring that pelvis forward slightly. Lift the chest and then open your arms out to a goddess pose or cactus. Sink the hips a little bit deeper. And then go ahead and gently begin to lengthen out the legs, maybe shake them out. On your following exhale, as you relax your arms by your sides, inhale your arms about halfway, palms facing the sky. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want us to go all the way to the right. You're going to feel a stretch down the left hip. Bring it back through center. As you inhale, exhale, take it over to the opposite end. And you're going to feel a stretch down the right hip. And then come up through your center. I love stretching the hips because that's going to be around the whole belly engagement, and as well as just being agile from your day-to-day activities. So go ahead and come to the front of your mat. Inhale your arms all the way around and up, gazing at that space in between your hands. Palms meet one another. Bring it down to your heart center. Inhale your hands all the way around and up again. As you exhale, come forward and down for your Uttanasana. Plant your hands onto the earth. Tuck your chin toward your chest and curl it all the way in. As your hands are planted onto the earth, you don't lift them up or move them anywhere. Just inhale, lengthen through the backs of the legs, the backs of the arms, and then look up. That was an inhale. And then exhale, sink your hips toward your heels. Bring your hands back behind you. As you sit your hips onto the earth, coming up to my favorite boat pose. It's just a transition pose that I really, really like because you're always working at your core here. So bring your legs up like so, about halfway. And if you can leave your hands here for support, which does engage a lot. Or you can lift your torso and bring your hands over above you, or what am I saying? Next to your legs. This is over above you. This is by your sides. You know what? We're gonna go over above us. Lift the torso. Exhale, bring it down by our sides. Inhale, bring it above us. Exhale by our sides. One more time. Inhale above us. Exhale by your sides. I think I just discovered a new one for us, you guys. And then go ahead and release your toes, just your big toes, onto the mat. Grab onto the front of your knees. Pull yourself forward. Beautiful. Now grab onto the backs of your knees and then lift your feet off of the ground. Good job. Tap it down 1. Bring it up. Tap it down 2. Bring it up. Tap it down 3, bring it up, hold, take a breath or two, and then release your whole foot down. Beautiful. Opening up the legs. Now we don't have anything underneath us for support here, so our feet are together. And what I want to do is I want us to interlace our fingers here, and then wrap it around the feet. Just the toes mainly. And then here, go ahead and inhale, lift your torso, elongate the spine, flat back. And then come forward and down Lead with your heart. Once you've reached the point where you feel secure, that's the flattest and the furthest forward you can go. Go ahead and drop your chin toward your chest and see if you can just curl into it a little bit deeper. Voila. Another inhale as you rise back up through center, closing your legs, helping it with your hands. Simply rock a few times, giving the low back a little massage. Last one. And on this final one, you want to extend the legs to the corners of your mat. Bring your hands behind you. Come to your forearms. I take it back. We're going to do one more, you guys. So bring your legs, your heels at about hip width distance. Bring your hands at about below your shoulders. Bring your heels together, or not together. Bring your, I'm sorry. I'm having troubles here. Some mental difficulties. Heels together, toes together. And then we're gonna inhale, roll our shoulders back. Exhale, let go of any tension being held in your chest. And then you're following, inhale, you're gonna rise your hips up, come up through a backward plank pose. It's gonna really stretch your biceps and shoulders, and then exhale, release it down. We'll take that one more time. Heels together, big toes together. Point your toes as you roll your shoulders back, and then inhale, rise the hips. Tilt your head back if available to you. And then exhale, release it down. Very good. And then now go ahead and come on to your forearms. Toes are gonna stay together. Fingertips facing down, of course. And then see if you can walk your elbows just like a little bit closer toward one another here. Go ahead and tilt your head back if available to you, or you can keep it in a long line. I like tilting my head back for this one. It's a fish pose. And then we're gonna lift our hips back behind us. Oh, I keep saying that, back up toward the sky. Ooh, I'm sorry, guys. We'll take that one more time. So toes together. Roll your shoulders back, and we're gonna lift the hips up toward the sky. On your following inhale. And then head comes back. Lift a little bit higher. And then exhale, release it down. I'm going to slowly, side to side, open up my elbows. And then release my entire back onto the mat. I'm going to tuck my chin toward my chest for a long neck. I'm going to hug my left knee in. I'm going to extend that leg out, and I'm going to bring the right leg in. Give it a nice little hug, a tight one. Soles of the feet come onto the earth, hands by our sides. Inhale, your hips up for bridge. Exhale, release it down. One more time. Inhale, your hips up. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Bring the hips a little bit higher. Exhale, release it down. Here's a challenge pose. This is we're going to do a quick one. This is just an inversion. So we're going to we're not going to hug them, but we're going to bring our knees toward our chest. And we're going to lift the legs slightly as we pulse and press our hips coming off of the earth so that our legs come up. So on this one, I kind of like to give myself like a little momentum. And then I bring my hands to the backs of my hips. I extend the legs, stacking them over my hips. See if you can lengthen out the hips in alignment with the legs. My hands shift a little bit further up on my back. Feel the blood coming down just slightly, and I'm going to bend my knees ever so gently, releasing the legs, the hips, all the way down to some windshield wipers, going right, going left, going right, going left. Go ahead and ever so gently just extend your legs below you, behind you, not behind you, below you, away from you, palms by your sides, closing the eyes, releasing the jaw, relaxing the temples, shoulders, the hips, wrists, knees, and ankles. Relax. Quick Shavasana today, beginning to bring awareness back into your belly, taking a deep breath in. Wiggling out your fingertips, wiggling out your toes. Maybe stretching your arms over above you like that morning sunrise. Bending at your knees, shifting the hips over to one side as you come to the fetal pose. Taking this moment to thank yourself for showing up, giving your body the maintenance it requires of you, keeping your eyes closed as much as possible, pressing yourself all the way up to your most comfortable seated Sukhasana. Scanning the body from our ankles up to our knees, up to our hips. Scanning the body through the stomach, the ribs, the chest, the shoulders, and the elbows, the wrists, and the neck, the head. Is the neck stiff? Is the neck loose? Floating your hands to your heart center as you begin to get your mind prepared to go onto your journey for the day. I invite you to just take a moment for yourself, maybe one long deep breath. Floating your hands to your heart center. I thank you so much for letting me guide you through this practice of yoga. I hope to see you again next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, live on Facebook and Instagram. Instagram is at Miz Ruba Yoga, and facebook.com/Ruba Yogi /. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Namaste. You can release your hands down by your knees. Blink softly, open your eyes. Good job. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for joining me live for yoga. Also, thank you for everybody who voted for me for the Maxim Cover Australia. I'm super excited and thankful for that opportunity that I was able to connect with you guys, to show you that, I'm striving for things in my personal life, but ultimately it was always to bring the awareness that I teach yoga and that I'm wanting to build health and wellness as a career, and getting you guys engaged in my life. And that was really, really cool. And there's a lot that I learned on my end, and I just have to encourage you guys to remember that what you do today so reflects on you in the future. And a little backstory on that, I had a couple of friends that I haven't seen in one of them was 12 years, the other one was 15 years, a little over 15 years. And then I had friends that I've known since college, high school, middle school that were voting for me. And what did I know when I was 15? What did I know when I was, 21? And I just was living in the moment, and who I was then so reflected on this competition. And sure, not enough people voted, or I don't really know how it all goes, but what I do know is that it gave me the exposure that I was ultimately seeking. Maybe not worldwide, but it certainly did with my tribe and community, with whom I connect with on a, I would say, day-to-day to yearly basis, which was amazing. So thank you everyone for voting for me. Thank you for being a part of my life. DJ Willie was posting me on his wall. We had my friend Gabby posting me on her wall. Ashley. Oh my goodness, I should, make a list of everyone. It was amazing. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you next Tuesday. So exciting. Go get you some tacos now.